All right. Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing great today. We are going to talk about how to read candlesticks. This is lesson 1.1. I'm calling it the alphabet. Okay. So, reading the story. To many people, this chart doesn't mean anything, right? It just goes up, it goes down. There's different colors, red, green, right? Some of these bars they have lines on the top, some of them have lines on the bottom, some of them have both lines on the top and bottom, right? But what if I told you that some people see much more than just bars and lines and up and down, right? In this chart, there are signals, patterns, and structures. The bars are also not as random as they appear. The bars actually give us hints. We just have to learn how to read those hints. Okay, today we'll start with the basics. We will study what these candlesticks mean. Candlesticks, you can think of them as the individual letters of this story, right? The chart is the story. So we'll start by learning the alphabet. There's lots of candlestick names and patterns with cool names. We'll discuss them later, but today we're just going to focus on one candle at a time. The information that one candle provides is definitely worth paying attention to. Okay, so a noob, you'll probably say, all right, sounds good, let's get started. A non-noob, they might say, no thanks, I already know the alphabet, I'll pass. Well, I think it's always good to refresh and get back to the basics. Even pro athletes still practice and review the basics. Steph Curry, he still shoots free throws, right? I think it's even more important for non noobs to review. It's easy to get caught up in a new indicator or oscillator, or we get caught up in exciting news, reports, disclosures, that kind of thing. We know how that story goes. I believe that price action and volume will always be the most important. So simply reading the candlesticks, reading what is clearly there right in front of us, is something we should always be mindful of. Okay, here's a warning. Well, big warning actually. Do not, I repeat, do not trade the individual candle. Candlesticks should be read in context, right? That means that the candles before are very important, right? Take a look at this. We got blank, 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 and N. Can you guess this four-letter word? The N looks pretty good, right? Okay. Well, is the word bean? Is it barn? Is it join? Moon, maybe? Oven? Scene? Yan? Well, the answer is actually down. How could you have guessed that without knowing the previous letters? Okay, so here's the same question, but now guess. We have D, blank, W, N. See, this is the power of reading the candles in context of the bigger picture, right? We can make a better guess because we have more information. When the candles tell you that it's probably down, you can be better prepared and trade accordingly. One more time, I repeat, do not trade the individual candle. Please, please, please don't do it. All right, so here are the basics, right? The parts of the candlestick. Check out this green candle over here. We got the opening price here at the bottom, closing price at the top, right? The candle is green because the price opened low and closed higher, okay? And the same is true, well, the opposite is true actually for the red ones. We got the opening price at the top, closing price at the bottom. The candle is red because the price opened high and then closed lower, okay? These are called candle bodies, okay? But what about those things at the top, right? You see those line over there? Yeah, that's a top wick. Some people call it wick, or they call it shadow, or they call it head. I like to call them wick because we are talking about candles, right? So the highest price reached before the candle closed. That's what the wick represents. Okay, and there's also sometimes a bottom wick or shadow or tail. That's the lowest price reached before the candle closed. Okay, if you can read these candles, you can read any candle. That's for sure. Each candle is a representation of the movement for a specific time frame. Okay, sounds confusing? Well, it's not really. Okay, there's different charts. You can look at a daily chart. So, one candle in a daily chart is one day, right? And if you're looking at a 5 minute chart, one candle in a 5 minute chart is 5 minutes, right? Think of each candle as a trading session. Okay, different traders trade different time frames, different sessions. So people who trade quickly, they focus on the lower time frames, right? 15 minute, 5 minute, things like that. And people who are more medium to longer term use higher time frames, okay? Like hourlies or dailies or weeklies or even monthlies, believe it or not. Okay, you actually should be using more than one time frame to make decisions, but we'll talk about all that later. Great. So you're probably thinking, now I'm ready to trade. Well, hold on. Okay, reading the candle is easy. The real challenge is the interpretation. Okay, you must consider context. What candles came before the current candle, and what is the market trying to tell you? That's the puzzle that we're trying to solve. That's why I put this picture of a maze here. We got to kind of navigate through the maze, okay? Some things to consider, like volume. It's very important. Higher volume means more conviction, aggression, momentum, right? We'll talk more about time frames, interpretation, context, and volume later. But let's go back to basic candlesticks, okay? So we got long versus short candlesticks. So what's a long one? What's a short one? Well, just look at the chart, okay? There's different sized candles everywhere. You can visually see which are long, which are short, or which are average. Uh, don't overthink it, okay? The answer is really obvious. If it's really long and bigger than all the rest, then it's a long one, all right? So long candles show more aggression, or momentum, or energy, whatever you want to call it. The meaning is the same. Buyers and sellers, they strongly disagree on the price, and one of them wins the battle, right? Like, look at this green candle over here. The buyers were here, and they just decided to push it all the way up. Of course, there are people who are selling, but the buyers just took them over, and the price closed high, okay? So short or average size candles can represent a general agreement between buyers and sellers, right? Or it could also mean less aggression, momentum, or energy, right? And that's why the price didn't change much. It kind of just hung around close to where it opened, okay? So what's this candle over here? Well, this one is a short, narrow, small green candle, whatever you want to call it, okay? How about this one over here? Well, that's a medium or average size red candle. Yeah, good. How about these two over here? Yeah, right. They're long, big, wide, tall, whatever you want to call them. They're long red candles or big green candle, wide green candle, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so caution. One more time, do not make trading decisions based on one candle, right? I told you that, wow, this green candle is really strong. All the buyers are buying, the sellers are weak. I better buy it. You'll be surprised. It doesn't actually work like that. That's why I keep saying, don't make trading decisions based on only one candle, okay? Each candle should be read in context. Remember, we're learning the alphabet right now, okay? We'll focus on the words and the sentences and the overall story later. Also, read the wicks, okay? Remember these lines at the top or at the bottom. They represent rejection, disagreement, or indecision. I like to think of them as like emotional highs or emotional lows. So, just like the candles, the size of the wick also gives us information. So, do not ignore them, okay? Therefore, candles with no wicks show exceptional strength in favor of either buyers or sellers, right? No indecision at all, no wicks. Okay, so more about wicks, okay? We have long top and bottom wicks, like this candle over here, or maybe this one over here. you can see that the wicks, the top wick and the bottom wick, they're actually bigger than the real body of the candle. Okay, what does it mean? Well, it means buyers and sellers could not agree, so the price changed a lot. This indicates that the current trend may change or at least pause. The current trend has lost full control. I highlighted full control there for a reason, because we do not know if the current trend will pause and then continue, or if it will just fall apart, or if it will just reverse trend. Okay, we also have long top wick only, right? Like this one over here, okay, or this one over here. It means that the buyers are losing. They lost energy trying to go up, or they tried and then failed to take energy away from the sellers. So the sellers won. They pushed the price down, even though buyers tried to push the price up. Okay? At the top of an uptrend, it could signal a reversal because the buyers failed to go higher. So for example, imagine there was a bar here, and then you see this bar, and it goes up and all the way down. Maybe you'll think, maybe they're starting to lose momentum on the upside. Right? At the bottom of a downtrend, it could signal a continuation, because buyers tried to fight the sellers. They tried to go up, but they lost. So same thing. Let's imagine there's bars going down here, and then this one comes in, and it looks like maybe they're gonna try to go up, but they couldn't. They just ended coming back down. There's also a long bottom wick only. Okay, like this candle over here. Right, the sellers failed to move prices down. Sounds good, right? Sounds bullish. Sounds like things are going up. Well, maybe. Okay, context again is important. The candles before it can give us more clues. I'll tell you more about that later. Just remember, candles are important. Wicks are part of candles, so wicks are important too. Do not ignore them. Always remember, context is very important. We've only talked about the alphabet so far. Once we learn the alphabet, we can try to read the words, then the sentences, and then we can better read the story. Okay, so what's this over here? Well, this is a medium-sized green candle with a long top wick. Oh, how about this one? Well, that's a medium-sized green candle with a long tail. How about this one over here? Well, that's a medium-sized red candle with a long top and bottom wick. Correct. And how about that one? Well, that's a small red bodied candle with a long head. Absolutely right, right? If you say these things to your friends, wow, they'll be impressed, right? Do not forget the doji. What is a doji? Well, on the chart, you'll see some candles don't look like candles at all. They kind of just look like this, right? Looks like some kind of strange language or something, right? Well, candles that have little or no body, right, with various sized wicks. So that's what we have here. These are called dojis, okay? They have little or no bodies because it means the opening price was the same or almost the same as the closing price. They are very important in providing context to the overall story of the chart. The wicks of the dojis are very important, okay? The size of the wicks shows how far the buyers and sellers were able to move the price during the session, but the price closed at or near the opening price, right? Look at this candle over here. Wow, they were able to push it all the way down and then it came back up, right? Or this one over here, they pushed it all the way back up, but then it came back down, okay? In general, they mean some sort of indecision, right? Interpretation is very much dependent on the context, and confirmation, which is the next candle, it's often needed, okay? We usually need some kind of confirmation for these dojis. We need it because we need more information, right? We need more information so that we can make a better guess at the direction. We need one more letter, right? So remember that DOWN, down example I gave you? It's kind of like, oh, we got a blank here and we need one more letter to make a good guess at what the word could be. All right, so let's take a look at the chart that I showed you in the beginning. How does it look to you now? Okay, so I circled here some kind of random points, right? What's this one? Well, that's a medium green body, right, with a long top and bottom wicks, right? How about this one? Well, that's a strong green candle with no wicks. Very bullish. Okay, how about this one over here? Oh, that's a very big red candle with a long top wick. Correct again. This one, yeah, double red dojis, small wicks. Can you see those dojis right there? And how about this one over here? You probably know that one, okay? Big red candle with no wicks. I kept saying that context is important because it is. Now that you're able to read these candles, right, the ones that I circled, try reading the candles before the candle you are looking at. So if you're looking at this one, you've read it, try reading the ones before, right? Does your interpretation of the candle change? Are you starting to understand the story now? Let's try it, okay? So we said this one was medium body green with a long top and bottom wick. The candles before are very strong green candles, right? The price moved very quickly in a short amount of time. This is a daily chart, by the way, but it doesn't actually matter, right? You can use these chart reading skills on any time frame. So what happened in this case? Well, the uptrend was topped with the indecision, right? Price then went down, but then it came back up, right? After, we saw some very small bodied candles, lots of doji candles, which means like indecision, okay? This also happened within a very tight price range. We call that volatility contraction, but it's not important right now. Just know the price didn't move much after this, okay? And then what happened? Well, it exploded upwards. All right, let's look at this one over here. Well, this is a very big red candle with a long top wick. What happened before? Well, there was very strong green candles. The price moved very quickly in a short amount of time. What happened after? Well, unfortunately, as you might know or not know, hopefully you know, price doesn't go up forever usually. The buyers lost momentum and the sellers took over. Here you can see that long top wick, right? And it was a warning sign that the trend might change, and it did. Okay. The challenge will be reading these candles live. We're looking at the chart now. We can see what happened, but while you're trading, you couldn't see any of these candles, right? If you just see this candle, then see this candle, at that time you can't see these candles, right? They're not there. They're not painted yet. But at least this one can give us a hint that maybe the trend might change. In this case, it did. Okay, so nice work. We have now used the chart to tell the story. Excellent. So the next steps, all right? Okay, we can use the single candles in context to help us make trading decisions. Now that you can read the alphabet, we can move on to learning some words, or in other words, patterns and structure. Okay, patterns will be the next step. We'll cover some single candle interpretations, right, within context, and also patterns made up of 2, 3, and even more candlesticks in the following presentations. There's a lot of cool names for them. It's fun to learn. It makes you sound smart, and you can chat with your other stock buddies using the lingo. It's pretty fun, but memorizing the names of the patterns is not actually important. It's not going to make you money if you just memorize the names, right? What will make you money, though, is if you use the information they give us to make better trading decisions. Okay, these are just the basics, okay? Actually, they are just the basics of the real basics. There's a lot to learn, so much to learn, and even experienced traders will tell you that they learn something new every day. So the more you learn, the better chance you'll have at first surviving and then eventually becoming successful in this trading game. Just remember, always take your time. Trading is a skill that you'll be able to use for the rest of your life. So take the time now to make sure you fully understand the basics. Your future self will thank you for sure. And remember, you're not just investing in trading markets, right? You're really investing in yourself. Again, this is a lifelong skill that you can take with you forever and take care of yourself, take care of your family, things like that. All right. So, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Stay tuned for the next video coming soon. It will be lesson 1.2, and it's called The Words, right? So, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day or night.